Hernandez here, laptop entrepreneurs. What's cooking, guys? Hey, look at us. We're on episode 9 now. We're just kind of moving along. I decided to go back on a solo podcast here for episode 9 because you know what? I'm having a pretty good day. I started this new thing. It's called the 75 Hard Challenge, and I kind of added my own variations to it as well. And I kind of was listening to it on a podcast about how it's so important to just be able to take care of your mental health as well as your physical health. They kind of go hand in hand. And so I was like, let's what is this 75 hard challenge? And I'm only on day 6, but this is pretty much what it breaks down to. No alcohol, no cheap meals, eat clean. The most important things are 45 minutes of some sort of exercise outside, and then 45 minutes of exercise like doing weights or at the gym and stuff like that. As well as 10 minutes of reading a nonfiction book. And I added in some meditation too. So I like to do 2 10-minute meditations throughout the day, one in the morning, one midday. But man, like just thinking about how we live in this world where we don't even necessarily realize how important it is to have a brain that's functioning and to be healthy and in that mindset. And I know I often come across as somebody that's very motivational, and I really try not to do that, but it's just in my nature. It's who I am, right? Because I believe in this stuff, and I've been noticing I'm getting tired at 8:30 or 9 p.m. at night because I know those 14-15 hours that I'm awake, I'm making the most of them, and that I think is a really special thing that's gonna help. But besides the point, listen guys, something really big is happening tomorrow. Right now it is Saturday, September 12th, and tomorrow is the beginning of NFL football, and I wish I could just do this whole thing on fantasy football or something like that. But if you're on YouTube, you can see me repping my Patrick Peterson Cardinals jersey because I am so pumped about the Cardinals after they got Hopkins and stuff like that. So that is another obstacle that I'll have to overcome over these next 69 days until I'm done with the 75 hard challenge, is those football Sundays and avoiding those wings and pizza. So we're really working towards making sure we can avoid that obstacle and whatnot. But listen, this is what we're talking about today. Time to crack down. Let's get down and dirty with this. We're gonna have an absolute blast because look at here. We're gonna not only continue on with that motivational piece or side that you're like this podcast always talks about. We're gonna go even further, but this is going to pertain to you like nobody's business. Okay, nobody's business, and because there is this one thing that I recognized the most since March, around March or maybe February, is that this idea of success. So that is one of the just saying the word success automatically. My opinion is different than your opinion automatically. What your opinion is different than the next person's opinion, because we all deem success as subjective, and I believe in that. You can believe what you want, because it's really ultimately up to you. Because if I rather have one person, as in myself, think that I'm successful versus having 100 people outside of me that think I'm successful, because it's not them that's living the life, it's me, right? And so this idea of success is this, that you always see people selling courses. You see the fancy cars, and you see the diamonds and stuff like that. But it's the people that here's some people that I admire that the wealth didn't really hit them. Kawhi Leonard is a great example. Giannis Antetokounmpo is another great example. Just sports related right there, because those two guys, they don't flash with their money whatsoever. They have tons of money. They don't flash it though. They're focused on coming in, playing the game they love, and it's something out of life that they actually care about, and that pertains to them. And so our ideas of success are different, right? And as I've been, I've made a big transformation, even in the just past 6 months as a person. I'm starting to notice the way I think. I'm a lot less negative. I'm more positive, and I just think about life in a different way. I deem success in a different way than I did, 6 months ago. And you may be thinking, Collin, you're crazy. This is just some placebo. I don't really think that's true. And look, it comes down to this. This is how I know it's true. Is it's the brain. Like, I've noticed that I've been calling myself out on shit that I need to call myself out on. Like, that's some next level shit right there. Is like, when I realize that I'm slipping in some manner or some fashion, I realize that I'm not really hitting where I want to hit that peak. Like, I was in a point where I was waking up at like 8:30 or 9 in the morning, and like some people may say, oh, that's not too bad, but like to me that's really bad, because then it just ruins my entire day, because then I don't have time to get in everything that I need to get in, and like but that's my own choice, and I'm not complaining, fully accepting that that's my own choice. But the reality is that the reason that I can tell that I've noticed such a change is that by not only I call myself out, that's number one, right? I call myself out straight up and say, yo, you're not like picking up the slack. You need to do what you need to do in order to, keep going. Number two, I have become so comfortable being alone. Like, it is ridiculous, almost scary. Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm so used to being alone, and it's giving me time to think, to write, to meditate, to read, to, work on this business, to blog, to podcast, like just realizing that I have all this, energy and time to do things that are like all these revolve around self-development, which is, don't worry, like, you probably still don't even know what the topic is unless you read it before you listen to this episode. This is all leading into it. But anyways, so with this is that I'm starting to do all these things that are for personal growth. So every decision that I make, I have to ask myself, does it meet my terms of what I believe personal growth to be? And it has to be my terms, because my personal growth can be way different than somebody else's. Like, maybe we all have that idea of healthy, but what is healthy to you? Is healthy stop smoking? Is healthy start eating better? Is healthy starting to lift weights instead of just doing cardio? It just differs, right? And so it comes down to this idea of success, right? And the thing that I'm realizing, and the thing that a lot, I think, of people that I've networked with and talked to have realized, is that you don't chase success. Success is attracted to you. Okay? Comprehend that a little bit, right? You don't chase success. Success is attracted to you, right? And this automatically, as soon as I heard this on a podcast, or no, actually, you know what? I saw this on social media, but I mean, many people have talked about this before. But I want to kind of give my spin as well on how this can, impact the people that do listen to this podcast. Is that I instantly thought about, okay, so let me think about this again, is that success needs to be attracted to me. I don't need to chase it. So it's like a girl that I'm attracted to, right? Like, I don't necessarily need to chase her. I need to get her to be attracted to me. All right, another example, right? Is that, it's like in life, there's so many examples like this in life. Is like, there's always going to be somebody that's either the chaser, they're the asker, they're the one that wants the money, or they're the one that wants you to pay for their service. And there's a decision maker on the other side, where they attract those people to come into their business by being like an attractive commodity, so to speak, right? Like, think about some of the biggest, artists or athletes, like Beyonce has endless commercial ads that she can run because she has attracted success, Same with Oprah, same with J-Lo, A-Rod, whoever you want to think about. Like, they have mastered the idea of attracting success into their life, right? And so that has been my focus, like, the past 6 months. And that's a focus that, I really want to talk to the audience about, is this idea of attracting success. Because, look, like, I think you can go a lot of different ways. So I'm just going to give you my spin, and hopefully my spin can help kind of gear you towards how you want to feel in that same way. And I want this to be known. Like, as we're going, this is our 9th episode. This podcast is not necessarily meant for entrepreneurs. This podcast is for anybody that's interested in entrepreneurship. So I just want to make that clear. Because I don't even label myself as that yet, because I feel like I haven't had enough skin in the game. I'm still working. It's only been a year and a half. I need to really, keep going and push through it and all those things. But this idea of attracting success is a beautiful thing. And I think that what happens with this is that I see myself in a light where there's a lot of things, like physically, internally, a lot of things that I think I can improve upon. Not that I dislike those things, but things that I can improve upon. So one of the big things for me is I had a huge anger issue as a kid, huge. Like I would get so worked up and angry, and I still deal with that. It's always been a battle in my life, right? And so that's why I started to pick up those things like that, the yoga, the meditating, just like the breathing, the thinking, the just being in a calm place, because when I get really upset, those are the kinds of things that I like to go to instead of going to something else. Because it gives me an idea to just be able to cool down, right? And so that's an example of self-improvement. In building these skills, you want to build these skills into like this powerhouse. It's this big package, right? This big package where everybody wants to buy this package, but there's only one package, but there's thousands of people that want that package. Do you know how highly in demand you're going to be if you can somehow figure out how to master that? And I'm telling you right now that this is where you start. How do you attract success? And I've noticed this that with my businesses, I'm starting to get more referrals. People are starting to give me more positive reviews. They're saying, wow, you're doing a great job here, you're doing a great job here. On top of that, because the thing that I'm doing too is I think that it's more important for me to work harder on myself than it is to work on my business, because it translates. I think that working on oneself can improve your business, but I don't think an improved business can improve oneself. I think that's a stark difference in looking at the landscape of self-improvement, because I think that if we are ultimately chasing success, then it comes down to the battles that we want to face within a day. And then that's, what I talk a lot about. And look, the thing is, this is important as well, is like, have I made a single dime, doing social media? No, I haven't. But like the thing is that I believe in so much the ability that I can improve myself and be successful in my own light, is because I have this stark interest. So now that I kind of told you a little bit about my story, I told you about, the meditating, how writing can be therapeutic for me, the gym, eating clean, the occasional Fortnite, which I wrote about on blogs. But now that I've kind of just told that side of it, like I think it's always important with a podcast is you want to provide value to the audience, because even if that's just through, self-reflection and self-stories, you also want to kind of try to tie it into their own life. And that's why I really want to talk about this as well, is that, I think, and I'm one of those people, but there are a lot of people out there that are afraid to do something that's out of their norm. And I think that's pretty established. I think most people would agree with that. And I think that the reason is because of failure. And everything I do and when I talk about is I connect. So we're connecting failure. And what kind of emotion does that failure feel like, right? Failure you feel sad, you feel angry, you feel frustrated. And that's one of those things where I think that if it's a way that you kind of have a perspective or an outlook on life, is my perspective on this podcast, right? And I've said this numerous times, is that I am not the kind of person that for like this kind of platform on a podcast that likes a ton of structure, because if I feel like there's too much structure, it's going to be a presentation I do in class that I get a B+ on, and I really had no idea what I was talking about. But if I'm doing it freeballing and just like talking and spitting and just, doing like talking about cool stuff and talking about self-improvement in life and all of those kinds of things and about what happened this week, I think that's powerful. And that I think it's just, I'm always asking myself that question. And man, I always love going off topic on these, but I always promise myself that I would not just delete an episode if I go off topic, because sticking to that kind of thing. But yes, in terms of this, is for your own life, like think about the things that you don't necessarily have complete control over, and using those things that you don't have complete control over, fix it in a way where you start to realize that your success is bound by the actions that you make. And when we are deciding to attract versus chase success, ultimately, in the beginning, it feels like maybe we are chasing success. Like when we're going in to make those sales pitches, or when you are on the phones calling, talking to people to pick up insurance. Like at first, it may feel like you're chasing success, But when you begin to attract success, that's the difference. So, instead of going on the phone trying to sell right away, try to attract that person to you, And I don't mean in like a weird way, but like an attraction way, and like, hey, like this person's trustworthy, this person's loyal, this person really has my best interest at heart. It's making those moves and making those shifts from chasing to attracting that makes it quite beautiful. And so I'm gonna, I've, as a male growing up, right, like, going in high school and middle school and college and stuff like that, like we see it all the time. There's no denying it. I have no hard time talking about it because we see it all the time. Like dudes just chase girls left and right, especially at our age. Obviously, I can't speak for like 30 plus because I'm not 30 plus, but like for our age and those that have lived in this period, it's always been like this. See, like it's always been like this where men chase women. And I don't understand like how we can change that or shift that, because it's that again, it always goes back to chasing or attracting success. Is that you want to be an attractor is what I'm trying to say. You want to be an attractor. You want to be somebody that people are just naturally attracted to and drawn towards because you have such power and wisdom that you're able to bestow upon them. That is, that's money. That's what you want, Man, that makes me excited. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, making decisions too as a big thing too is like, fuck, man. Sometimes I don't want to network. I don't want to respond to my DMs, and I say, okay, that's fine, right? And then you got to accept the consequence of it. And that's okay though. Like I think that like at first I was trying to work every second instead of trying to figure out how can I make every second count. Attraction, chasing, big difference. Yo, podcast is up, dude. So this is a Saturday night, so I'm a little tired right now. So we're gonna get a couple more things done, but then this podcast will probably go out the next day when listen to this podcast, Arizona Cardinals got a dub. That would be absolutely huge. But hey, thanks for listening to this like really soulful, real impactful type, podcast. And please be sure to go review it on Apple Podcasts if you enjoy it. Reach out to me. I know a lot of you I probably already know, but if I don't know you, that I'd love to chat and let's like just talk about life. All right. Cheers, everybody. Enjoy this upcoming week and work hard, execute, and love it. Calm down.